You're getting ready. Okay, thank you. Sigrid, who is the future co-president of the state, AAUW, California State, has started the recording. And what I plan to do is I will send all of you who attend and those who can't make it, I'll send them the link in case they'd like to hear what we have to say today. So let me introduce myself. I'm Susan Bangasser. I organized the California area of the College University Partnership Program. I'm actually, though, a member of the Redlands branch, and Redlands is in Southern California, for those of you who are not familiar with the town. And we wanted to meet today because we wanted to help our students make sure you're comfortable on your way to the NCCWSL. Now, NCCWSL stands for the National Conference for College Women Student Leaders. And all of the students out there, I want to congratulate you because you have been selected because you stood out as potential leaders, future leaders for the upcoming generation. And so our local branches in the state of Oregon have sponsored you, and we would like you to make the most of this opportunity. I want to tell you the mission of AAUW is to advance equity for women and girls through education, empowerment, and advocacy. So we've been around a long time. The organization has, even though I've been around a long time too, the organization's been around even longer than I have, and has done excellent work promoting things like, first, the voting rights for women, and then education for women, advocacy, equal pay, etc. So thank you to the branch leaders out there for doing fundraisers and raising money to send students, college students, to this leadership program. Because what we want to do is pay it forward and get the next generation ready to take those leadership roles. The general instructions are for you to be on mute until it's your turn to talk, or if you're asking a question. We already asked you to put your name and college in the chat, or if you're a branch leader, your name, and the branch that you're from in the chat. I do expect the person who organizes NCCWSL, her name is Asia Jones. She said she'd be here early.
She is
So
here.
she is here.
She's on.
Okay, because I can't see everybody. So I want to introduce Asia and let her tell us just the highlights of the upcoming program. So Asia, thanks for saying it here, because now that I'm on this view, I can't see everybody.
No worries. Hi, how is everyone this evening? Hope well. Sorry, I'm not going to be on as long as I had anticipated. I'm not feeling so hot today, so
Okay.
but just wanted to kind of give you a rundown of some expectations that will be happening this year at NCCWSL. So we really took the time at NASPA to analyze the qualitative and quantitative data surveys that came back to us. Oregon was really great about sending a one that they did with their students aside the one that we sent. And so we really were reflective in as we began to plan this year's NCCWSL conference. And so one of the things that we heard participants say that one, they wanted an extra day to be able to network, get more workshops in, and to be able to do some different things within the DC area. So one thing that we've added is we've added the additional day, so we will have an additional day in DC. I know that some people have been frustrated that we're still starting so early on the first day. Historically, I guess AAUW has started it in the evening, but in order for when speakers could speak, because there's a lot of planning that has to go into it. And I don't know if is Wendy on the call tonight, Wendy Cook?
I'm
Um,
here.
there's Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Wendy was really great. I think she kind of twisted my arm just a little bit. Just joking, she did not. But she helped us to get a keynote speaker that actually is a NASA fellow and is an astrophysicist, and so was able to make that connection. We're still working with her person to see if we can show her movie that she has associated with her journey of working in NASA and obtaining her STEM degree. And so there's only days that she could speak, and so one of the days she could speak was the first day. So we have to kind of go with the availability of what the speakers are available. The second thing we heard folks to say is that they really wanted to experience DC. I'm bi-coastal, so I live in Texas and in California, and so going to DC is a great thing, right? But I was like, I would want to see DC too if I'm there, if I'm from the West Coast, or even if I'm from the Midwest, I would want to still see DC, and so we added a DC tour in there. And for the advisors on the call, that's why we see some of the unfortunately, because of the state of world we're in and tariffs and things, the university changed some prices on us too. And so we had to enable to make it work. We did have to kind of increase some of the cost to make everything work. But we're excited that buses will be able to take us to DC. We'll spend pretty much from 1 o'clock to almost 9 o'clock in the evening in the DC area. Um, and that lunch on that day, just so you know, lunch will be on us, but dinner, because we'll be out in the city, you'll need to plan accordingly to grab something to eat while you're out. Um, we have a TED Talk speaker come in. I'm just really excited about the speakers. We really looked at the surveys of what people were saying, what they wanted, and we got a diverse group of speakers coming. We even have a graduate student speaker. And I have a kind of special request that I'm hoping one of you will step up to the plate. The president of my organization wants to do a fireside chat, but she would like one of the students from NCCWSL that is going to be attending NCCWSL to be the moderator of the panel. And I don't know if any of you all would be interested in working with us to be a moderator of that session with her. Would anybody be interested in that?
I am interested.
Okay, who said I am?
Shahinur.
Okay,
Shahinor Bashar.
Did
okay.
Thiva raised her hand? Thiva, are you interested too? Can you put in the chat if you're interested and your email address maybe? And then
Yes,
I
if
can
you,
send it to Asia.
yeah, because we can
Yeah,
have two student moderators, so
yeah,
that works.
it'd probably be more fun with
Yeah,
two students up there. Yes.
yeah, and so we'll set up a meeting with our president and to be able to do that. But I think that you all will have a great experience. I don't want to do a lot of talking. I want to allow you some time to ask me some questions because I could just ramble on and on and on. I don't know if anybody was here last year that attended last year that is coming back. Are there any people on this call that are returners?
Doesn't
Okay.
work. Yeah, all right.
Okay. But if you all those who wanted to help speak, if you will go ahead and make sure that I have your email in the chat, and then Miss Susan will send that over to me, that would be great. Um, I would love that. And then I would like now to turn some time over to you all. I got a question about the advisor experience. That's the other piece we added. Last year, some of the advisors said that some of the workshops were great for the students, but they wanted to be able to have workshops of how to work with students and different things. And so we had a person who's going to do a track that's all about advising, working with students. They have some experimental learning. So on Thursday and half of the day on Thursday and then all day Friday, that are traveling with students will have their own track that they can attend to be able to do that also.
Asia, I wanted to tell you that there's no problem for our students having an early start because they're getting there the night before anyway.
Yes, I remember that. We worked that out.
Yes, thank you for working that out. All
Yes.
right, if you have a question for Asia, use your little raise your hand symbol under react, the little heart, and then you can raise your hand. Okay, Julie.
I have some question because like I noted that it said it have the speaker on the first day, but I do know that because we fly from the San Francisco, like California, I don't think we're gonna make it on the first day, the first event.
So I'm going to answer that. Now, chances are, because as far as I know, every student is flying the day before the event and spending a night in a hotel. But if you're not, then you will miss all day. You'll miss if you're flying on the 27th, you'll miss the whole day. But I think most students are flying on the 26th and then have a hotel that night. So you get up the next morning and you're there, and we'll talk about where you check out of your hotel and walk to the student union. Okay. Shahiner.
I Asia, can you tell more about the coordinator role? Like, how would that go and when, in which session?
I,
Because
I
I don't
didn't
think.
I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry. Could you say it
Oh,
again?
that's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering what the role of the moderator would be and like what time is it, like a session based or like are we doing like panel discussions? Like what is the format of that will be? And are we doing it like all day for the amount of time that we're going to stay there?
No, it is one session. It's
Okay.
the lunch keynote where she would normally keynote. She suggested a fireside chat with her with some basic questions that we would provide in advance, and then also opening it up to um, the audience to be able to ask questions. And so moderating that would look like is asking those questions that we will have prepared for you, and then also helping with if there's questions from the audience. That is not an all day thing. There's workshops going on. There's breakout sessions for keynotes, but it is a keynote speech where everybody will be in there. All the participants who are attending would be there.
Oh, okay. Is it on the first day?
It is not on the first day. It is on
Oh,
one of the later days in the week.
oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Uh, let's see, any other questions? I did have a question. We will be talking about how to get the most out of the conference. And I had assumed that there will be, other than the keynote speakers, that you'll have some workshops that they pick from. Like,
Yes, so we
okay,
will
yeah,
send, there is an app that we use at NASPA that will have a list of the different workshops, and you can select in the app which ones you'd want to attend. You'll be able to see that. We should have that app ready to go within the next week or with the next week and a half. We have to upload all of the sessions in there. We had about 48 people apply to well, excuse me, 47 people who applied to do presentations. Um, excuse me, we accepted 47 of the proposals that came in. And then after that, they had to determine if they were going to come. And then we got about 43 of those out of the 47 that we accepted that said they were actually coming to the conference. I know one of the frustrating things is that people wish they could go to that we were doubling up on the conference. People are coming and presenting for free. It's not something we pay people to do. So they're coming on their free time. And so if they're in the local area, that's great. But if they're flying in from different spaces and places, they have to fit their schedule accordingly. So my suggestion to you is once we send you the information for you to download the app and to get inside the app and kind of look and see which workshops you'd want to go to. And there's an option on there where you can say I'm attending this one so you can see how many people in the room. We have told presenters there may be depending on students request of where they want to go that we may ask them that if they could double up on their if they could do a double presentation like at another time in one of the other breakout slots, but that is not a guarantee. Unfortunately, that's the harder part of it. We can't double the workshops up, but we will try if there's an opportunity. But there's one of the things that we heard participants to say last year, they wanted more diverse workshops, they wanted more tangible walk away things for leadership. They wanted to understand money and resources. We have several workshops. There's 4 workshops. We have workshops each day on financial literacy, and then we have a vice president of a bank coming in to talk about finances.
good. One of our branch members asked if there was an evening session on the first day.
There's not an evening session. What we decided to do is we're still waiting to confirm with Dr. Woodrum's uh agent if we can show her movie. If not, if it's not a movie, then we would just do we would do some sort of activity. But we're trying to keep the evenings free so that that the participants that are there that can build networking relationships with each other. So we have activities planned. It's just evening activities, so you can go to the gym. If you decide to go to the gym, it's $7. That's a cost that we didn't incorporate because we didn't want to have to increase the registration. So if there is some you want to go to the gym and work out on their campus, they will allow you to get a day pass. It is $7 a day though.
Thank you. Shaheen, do you still have a question?
I do have a question, but you can go first.
Oh,
That's okay.
no, I didn't have a question. I moved my hand like this and my computer thought I had a question. It raised my hand for me.
Okay. I was just wondering, are we presenting anything, or we're just attending workshops?
You're just attending workshops. If
Okay.
you, in the future, you can always apply to be a presenter, but as a participant, you're just coming to have the lead to come and experience the conference, but you're not required to present anything. So a presenter may ask you to talk in the presentation or have input, but there's
Mhm.
no requirement of you to present anything. We had a whole proposal process, and that was
Mhm.
done like a month ago, so we
Yeah.
couldn't do that now.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. I will be showing the schedule that Asia already has so far. It doesn't really have all the seminars or workshops in it yet, but I'll be sharing that with you. And Thiva, you have a question?
I was just wondering, I know that things are probably a bit murky right now and organizing everything is hectic, but do we know yet if there's like an emphasis on any particular subjects, if there's an emphasis on STEM or computer science or business, or like like in academia or outside of academia?
Yeah.
Can you give us
So
any hints?
some of the things we had some learning outcomes of what we have different learning outcomes that we asked people to speak to. And so the conference themes were awareness of self and others, civic engagement, policy and advocacy, career engagement, and leadership development. And so those are the types of workshops you'll have. Just to give you a snapshot of some of the workshops, like I said, there's a Money Smart one talking about the foundation of foundations and finances. There's positive adaptation to ch transition and change. How student leaders stay grounded and resilient in uncertain times. Leading without burnout. Learning when to push and pivot and jump and move forward. There's workshops on courage under pressure, talking about systems and how they weren't built for us and how we have to navigate through those. Um, uh, there's a workshop for those rethinking policy and power when it comes to maternity leave. Because there are graduate students that will be there also, but even there are some undergraduate students that experience maternity. There's restorative language where you're learning about language, accents, and powers and how you're working with different people in that area. There's global leadership and community engagement. Um, the corporate girly 101 transitioning from college to the workplace. There's a workshop on bridging research and policy for nutrition and health equity. So there's a variety of workshops. The keynote speakers are where you're going to see more of the focus. So like you have Dr. Woodrum, who is a STEM-based person. You have Dr. Nixon, myself. My supervisor is Dr. Nixon, myself, and Dr. Bailey and Dr. Parnell. We work in higher ed and education, so we have that background. You have Dana Cox, who works in a bank, and so she's coming in from a banking perspective. You have Camila Hill, who is a consultant that used to work at universities, but now does consultant work in empowerment of women. You have Dr. Barton, who is an associate professor in literacy. So we tried to get a well-rounded group of people to be able to present to all the different backgrounds that will be at the conference.
You
Does that
sure
answer your
have them
question?
memorized. That's amazing.
I've looked at it about 100 times. So
Well, we have one more question from Dr. Denise Lucy.
Thank you so much. Asia, can you send us the list of those topics? I would love to know them so I can then promote this in a, you know, to our campus and to community. It's wonderful.
yeah, I can let me
And will it ever be on the website?
it's too much to put on the
On the
website.
website,
Like
okay, okay.
it's way too much information. And another thing, so because of the landscape of the world that we're in, just being totally
Mhm.
transparent, certain states and certain universities don't allow people to go to different workshops when they see that there is a
That's true.
DEI focus in
That's true.
anything. And so one of the reasons why we um try to do our very best to protect the participants, any presenters who are coming. And so I just probably need to layer it down a little bit and make sure there's none of that specific language because we put it in the app and you only get access to the app if you're a participant, so that's not a problem. But I think I can at least give you the titles and a little bit of the abstract. I think that wouldn't be Dr.
That would
Denise,
be enough.
that might be helpful.
Yes, it
And I'll
would
be glad
be.
to share that.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
great. Thanks.
send it to me too, because we could use it next year to say, look, these are some of the topics they had last year to
Yeah.
inspire students. Also, before you have to go, I would like Thelma Murrow to raise her hand because she is one of your speakers. And I wanted the students on board to see Thelma. And so, did you
Hello,
raise your hand?
everyone.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm looking
Uh,
forward to meeting all of you there.
she's the one doing the push,
Jump,
Mhm.
push, pivot, or jump
Yep.
push
to move
pivot.
forward.
Yeah.
So identifying when it makes sense to push really hard, when it's time to make a change and pivot, and when it's time to make a big jump and change the situation.
So look for her presentation, students.
Yes.
Jasmine, great question. A majority of the conference is in the main part of campus, the Stamp Union. You'll get a good tour of walking that back and forth to uh, from the residential halls up there. During those free different activity times, that was kind of where we did the campus tour. We didn't want to take away from because we really wanted to add in that DC tour in there. We didn't add a campus tour of that particular campus in there. But you know, you get done with lunch early, there's opportunity for you to uh there's opportunity for you to be able to kind of view the campus and navigate through the campus also.
And I'm
So there's
sharing the map, Asia, if you wanted to. I have the heritage community where the dorms are,
we're at Johnson Whittle.
which is, I think, something where this is.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. You know, I'm not the best at maps. I
Okay.
yeah, that's not my specialty, but I think I remember that.
And the union, here's Stamp Studio, where my cursor is, not where the
Yeah.
yellow is, where the cursor is. And so did they walk around the football field to get to their
Yeah,
dorm?
it's like a cut through, there's a
Oh, I see.
pathway
There's
that
a
took
pathway
you.
there.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
pathway, and then
Okay.
we'll have signage for that. And I can share this. We were able to get a sponsor that provided us t-shirts this year, and so
Oh,
we will have t-shirts this year. And here's the look of those. I just put it in the chat.
Oh, cute.
very nice. Oh, very nice. Okay.
So
I
I'll be
know.
sending an email out before.
Yeah.
I'll be sending an email out probably on Monday because I'll need to get all the sizes by the 18th so that we can get your correct size ordered. Um, Andrea, your question was, I heard you say that students who arrive on the 27th will miss the whole day of the presentations. Depending on what time they get there on the 7th, on the 27th, if they don't get in, you know, the campus is about 45 minutes to an hour away from the airport if they're flying into DCA or Dulles, or even Baltimore, just depending on traffic. So I think when you're flying from west to east, normally, if you're leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not getting to the east till 4 o'clock. So you would miss a portion of that day. But what I can do is during that time, if there's any missed workshops, if there was some material that presenters had, if a student is going to miss that day, if you send me an email, it's ajones@naspa.org, and you are in that situation. I think Pish, Julie, I heard you say that you are coming from San Francisco and aren't coming to that day. But if there was a workshop that once you get in the app and there was something that you did see that you wanted, I can also ask the presenter for that information. And I could imagine that I could even ask that presenter to maybe do a one-on-one and go through their presentation with you at a later date. I think there's some things we can do if someone is going to miss.
Someone asks if there's a phone number participants can reach for the conference organizer if there's an issue with ICE in DC.
Yes, I'm going to give the advisors that are sending students my personal cell phone number for that. And we have advised in the past of students if there is, we cannot control what's going on in this world and the wildness that is happening, right? However, we all want everybody to make sound decisions for their safety and make the best decision if it's something they should travel to or not based on their own safety.
And part of our travel information, we wanted to make sure that you travel with your real ID or a passport. And if you don't have one of those, it'll take you longer going through TSA checkout, and you'll have to pay $45. So I'm hoping does anybody here not have a real ID or a passport? Okay. Well, I don't see anybody like saying.
Marina just raised her hand.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I had a question. It's not this.
Yeah, Arena, why don't you ask your question then?
Oh, it's not related to this.
Right.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, I didn't know if you finished this topic. Okay, I was mostly wondering about the tour of DC. And is it going to be like a group thing, like where all of us are going to attend same thing with the group, or is it something you drop us off and like we have to arrange our own thing and we need to look into this like right now if we want to visit any museums and we can like already make reservations at certain museums, or like if anything you have plans for us?
Yes. So I was able to get time tickets to the African American Museum, and I was only able to get 11 tickets to the NASA one. Something the system glitched, and so they keep on saying they're gonna let me know. They're gonna let me know. But go ahead. Someone said something.
I think it was in the background. Someone's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest, if there is a museum that you want to go, besides the 11 tickets we have for the NASA museum, and then we have four different times that we will have that you can attend the African American Museum that we have tickets for that we can go group. But if there's a museum that you want to go to in particular that we didn't get time tickets to, because the only ones who required us to have time tickets were the African American Museum and the NASA one. Everyone else said you can they were either walk up or walk in, or you could get a ticket, but I couldn't get group. They didn't allow us to do group tickets to the other ones. And so it is a partial DC on your own. I will be in the city with everybody. Also, I'll be attending that. I'm not going to just let you just be out there by yourself. So if you want to hang around with me, I mean, I think I'm pretty cool. I mean, so you could go to the museums with me if you want. But it should be pretty easy to do. We're dropping you off right near the museum area so that you can get a good experience there. And then one of the things we're going to try to do, I just needed to run it by my supervisor, but I think on the last day or the Friday, we want you to rep your school. And so maybe wearing a t-shirt or sweatshirt or something from your campus as a way to show the representation from all the different campuses that we are coming from, and those of us who have graduated went to.
Great idea.
I mean, we can do a color theme. We can do Wednesday, we can wear pink, Tuesdays, we can do a color theme if everyone wants to. Small question. Is there a schedule that the participants will following throughout the day? If so, will this information app? Yes, it will all be on the app. it will be on the NASPA app. What I will try to do is for you advisors, I will try to this it's a huge spreadsheet and it's not gonna we have to do it a certain way, but I can try to get you like the schedule that I've sent Miss Susan is pretty accurate of the times of everything that's happening. We may need to make a little bit of adjustments, like tweak some times on there, and I'll make sure you have a final schedule at a glance. It's probably just not going to have all the individual breakout sessions on that schedule in a glance.
I can I thought I'm going to share the schedule with a glance. I think I can find it here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So this is, everyone can see it? Okay. Yes. Okay. So it does not have all the speakers, but it shows you the timeline, starting with Wednesday, May 27th, where you show up between 7:15 and 9:30, and you'll show up at the student union and check in and leave your luggage there because you'll be coming from a hotel unless you're flying in that day, but they'll lock up your luggage to get later. So then just the talk starts with the welcome from Asia, and even though it's spelled like Asha, it's pronounced Asia, 10 o'clock. So this kind of gives you an idea of the timeline. Dinner 5:15 to 6:15, and the dining hall is close by. And then Thursday, there's more conference going on in the morning. And after lunch at 1 o'clock, the buses depart. The tours from 2 to 9:45. So you get home late, but you got to get up early the next morning because on Friday it starts 7:30, registration information table. Well, breakfast is at 7:15 to 8:15. And your welcome's at 8:30. We'd roll to Saturday. Saturday is part and ends by 1:30. And in my notes, which we may not get to all of them, be sure you're packed, your suitcase is packed, your carry-on's packed, you're ready to roll, because you'll make arrangements with your travel buddies to get to the airport. And you know, typically you're on a late afternoon flight because you need to be at the airport 2 hours early. And as Asia said, it takes at least 45 minutes, plan for an hour to get to the airport. Okay, so anyway, that's the general rundown of the schedule.
I have a question again. So
yes,
then an hour to get to the airport, and how long should they be waiting at the airport, you said?
They should get to the airport 2 hours in advance. That's what.
Okay, cool. So
TSA
3 hours
recommends.
then.
Yeah.
Good.
Right. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this. So it gives you kind of the rundown, but when you get the app, you'll see what's actually going on and who's doing what conference, the titles, the subject, etc.
Get a copy of that like now, even before the app, just to get a general idea.
Yes. I'm trying to think.
Let me give you the updated one. Just one.
Oh, you're sending it to me? I suppose, Barb, do you have my email? Because I could send it to everybody whose email address I have, but I don't know if I have your email address.
Probably not, because I mean, I'm not going, but I don't see the leader of the school that we're supporting a girl here. So I just thought I would send it to her.
Okay. So Asia, you're sending me the updated one then that has a little more information. Okay, so I will send the updated one to everybody on my email list, which is all the students and maybe not all of the branch
Susan,
attendees.
we can probably post documents next to the recording.
Oh,
so if you prepare some documents, I'll make sure that they get posted with the recording on our website.
Oh, thank you. See, we needed to have an expert here. Thank you, Sigrid. So that's how you can find it then.
It'll be there.
When I send out the link, the documents will be attached there too. Okay, any final questions for Asia? Because I know she's on East Coast time and has a very early morning. And so she is going to leave our conversation as soon as we are done. So specific clothing, I was recommending like business casual, but do not go out and buy something. You know, my philosophy is if your grandmother thinks you look okay, then that's what you can wear. Right. And then the other thing is to wear comfortable shoes, because you'll need them on the airplane and you'll be running all over DC, or walking all over DC, walking on campus. So comfortable shoes, presentable clothing. And also, so I don't repeat it later, I'll just say it now. Airplanes tend to be cold, I think. So be sure and have a sweatshirt, a sweater, a hoodie, something. You might monitor the weather before you go in case you need like an umbrella or a rain jacket. Typically, the weather is really good this time of year there, but who knows? Who knows what typical will be.
Susan, there's one last question about the stipend.
Yeah, I can address that one. That's an Oregon question.
Okay.
Madeline, your stipend will be coming from AAUW Oregon online branch. I have been working with them on getting you your stipend, so it should arrive before the conference, but I'll follow up on that.
Yeah. What I wanted to let everybody know is that that's not universal across states or branches. Each branch makes their own decision. So you need to go back to your branch liaison and see if that's part of the package. Some branches give the students some walking around money, some do not.
And some might have you, let's say, get reimbursed for your Uber or cab fare from the airport, but it depends on the branch. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And does anybody have any further comments or questions for Asia before she goes to sleep? All right. Well, thank you, Asia.
In the chat, I don't know if you can see, but I put a PDF file in there for you all.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of the
that's
working
helpful.
document. And that does
Yay.
list the different speakers that I have in there.
Oh,
That's great.
Awesome.
And if there was any time changes I made, this is the most updated one. I think when I sent that to you, Miss Susan, I was still working on a few things.
Okay. All right.
And
well,
so just real quick, just where you see that room check-in and rest, because you're coming straight to from registration, we didn't want to make you walk down the hill to come back up the hill. So that's why we built that. You'll see that break that's pre-built in there that says rest and room check-in. That'll allow you to go back down to the residential halls, take your luggage from up top, and be able to take it on down to where you'll be laying your head each night. And as they all talked about the dress code, you come as you are. You be comfortable. If your grandma says, like Miss Susan said, if your grandma says it's okay, I imagine it's okay. But even if because some grandmas don't agree anyway. Either way it goes, you know what I mean? So, but if you are comfortable in t-shirt and a jeans, then wear that. I'm a Jordan chick, so if it was up to me every day, I would wear Jordans every day. I'm a Jordan mid one, just so everyone knows there's a very specific Jordan that I like to wear. But come as you are. But when I say come as you are to learn. It doesn't matter what you have on, because that's not the biggest of a deal. What you have on and what you begin to wear in your brain is what's really going to make the difference in what your atmosphere is and what you look like and how you present yourself to the world. My grandma used to tell me there's a lot of educated fools in the world. They dress up really nice, look really nice, and they don't have any substance to them. And so what you'll be able to come to the conference at NCCWSL and learn there, those are the things that you'll be dressing yourself with and what you'll be wearing and stepping into the future of where you're going. Because it's not about where you're at, it's about where you're going. My favorite quote I ever heard in life is, if I choose to be an infinite person, which I choose to be, then I will teach people beyond me. And that's what you'll begin to wear as you leave this conference.
Wonderful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dr. Lucy, your hand is raised, so you can.
Yes, I have one little practical question. You've been very inspiring, by the way.
Very good.
So my colleague, Tatiana, she's here. She's texting me asking a question. When you said travel buddy, are you going to help student colleagues figure out how to get to the airport together?
To me or
Meaning the team, how will they be?
So I'm not coordinating travel. Oregon is coordinating the travel for their girls, but it's done differently in California because each branch selects people. If your branch selected two, that it makes it easy because those two can meet each other and travel. I'm hoping that that these students help spot another California person when they get there. But if you're traveling by yourself, then when you get to the airport, you'll have to arrange your transportation to get to your hotel. So make sure you know your hotel name and location. And if you're using something like Uber or Lyft, you need to have a credit card and be registered with Uber or Lyft. Otherwise, you take a taxi. So I don't know. So I'm not really matching people because that would have been done. They're flying out of different airports and arriving at different times.
I understand. I'll provide support.
Can I give one suggestion that the app will also do? We have in the app, there's what we call is for lack of better words, the talk wall. And what we've had other people do at other conferences is they're in there saying, hey, my flight arrives at such and such time. Can we ride an Uber together? And then if that person doesn't have a credit card, then they work out each other to Zelle it, Venmo it, or however they decide to do it. But that may be also an option if people's flights are coming in around the same time. If you use that app to kind of talk to other people who are traveling. I mean, it is a risk, but also getting in Uber is a risk too. But I imagine if they come into the conference, they're not probably going to be that problematic. They're all trying to get there together. I would also in that app, just if you feel afraid or anything like that when you are traveling, my email is always on me. It's on my phone. I'm always checking it. You could ask Miss Susan. I normally answer pretty quick within
She's great.
30 minutes I'm answering, but because I know that you'll be traveling, I will give you my work phone number also. And that goes straight to it comes straight to my phone. So if you have any type of quorums, think anything scary, anything like that, you can call me and I'll be glad to we'll make sure you're in a safe situation. We don't want you being afraid or anything like that. We will do our best to help. So
I'm thinking when you go to return home, you will have met other students and you could say, hey, my plane leaves at 4:00. You want to go to the airport together? That's an easier way. But I love the idea of, did you call it the talk wall? And I would suspect that a lot of West Coast airlines are arriving in DC, assuming it's the same airport, but around 4:30 or 5. And so Asia just put her work cell phone in the chat. Thank you, Asia. And then someone asked, will you be sending a link to download the app to all the students to register? Okay.
Yes. As soon as we're just finishing uploading all the workshops in there and getting everything in there. Once we do that, we're hoping that the full app should be ready by the 11th. What you'll also get from me in that app, you'll get a letter. It's called what we call the Know Before You Go. And I'll reiterate some of the things that I just talked to you about on this call. If there's any other things that changed or anything else we need to add, that'll be a pretty good informative letter to that Know Before You Go will also give you any insight. I would say you are staying in the residential halls. You are not getting the best of sheets and blankets, so you might want to bring even me staying at a hotel, I bring my own blanket. I'm just kind of strange like that. I'm also kind of bring my toiletries, like in my own towels and stuff. So just be mindful of that. If you stay on a campus now, that you probably don't get the best of its conference service. It's not like it's luxury. So just be mindful of that.
They might be trying to get by with a carry-on, so it'd be hard to pack all that. Are there towels provided?
Yeah, they provide towels, but I don't know. A lot of these students, they don't be bringing carry-ons. I mean, I was like, last year you moving in like for good, like you coming for the whole semester. What's going on here? You know?
Well, if you're not, If you're bringing a big suitcase, remember you are going to drag it from your hotel across the campus to the student union. And so, that's okay. And also you pay a fee.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I would also say, because are most of them staying at the Marriott? Which one are they staying at? The Marriott?
Oregon's not. Where are you staying, Wendy?
The Cambria.
Okay, it's not. They might. I get there the day before, and I'll do it again. I know I stayed at the Marriott last year, and it wasn't like close walking. I ended up having to Uber.
Oh, you did.
Of course,
okay.
I had boxes and stuff like that, but they're like, oh, it's a short walk. But even when I didn't have the boxes, it wasn't a short walk. So just
campus is big.
Yeah, okay. It's a big campus.
So that's an option too. If there's a couple of you together, you can share the price of an Uber instead of walking.
I mean, I would say suggestions for what to bring. That's not in the room. They don't give you soap, toothpaste, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I normally just pack a little bit of that extra stuff because somebody always is forgetting something. I have 10 bottles of Lysol because every time I go out of town, I forget the Lysol and then I end up buying some more. So, I would bring, snacks for your room. We will have snacks and things throughout the day, but once we're done, like for the day in the residential halls of the cafeteria, you may want an evening snack. And I think all they have is like candy machines. I mean, you can, of course, you are all young adults. There are restaurants and other things around and grocery stores around that you can go to. It was pretty safe when I was there last year, but I would bring some snacks for yourself if that's what you want, but just normal things you would bring when you're traveling. And if you're not a big traveler, I would just say making sure you have the basic things of your toiletries, your toothpaste, your soap, your deodorant, your lotion.
And so I'm gonna jump on board and say, since that's under the travel part, which we might not get to, if you're doing a carry-on, and even if you're packing it in a suitcase, you can only bring 3-ounce sizes. So put all your little shampoo, hair conditioner, any liquid cosmetic in a Ziploc bag too, even though I haven't seen airports asking for Ziploc bag liquids recently, but keep it, you don't want them to leak in your suitcase anyway, or your carry-on. So if it's in a carry-on, be sure no sizes more than 3 ounces. If it's in your suitcase, you don't want a huge bottle anyway, because that's pretty heavy. Okay, so they say we're allowed 3.4 sizes. But 3 ounces is what I'm familiar with. So to keep it small, it's enough for those few days you're there. Okay. Any other comments or questions before Asia retires for the night? Not from her job, for the night.
Again, if you think of anything that came up and you want to ask me, you have my email, you have my cell phone, my work cell phone, you can also text that phone. We do get text messages. But if something comes up and you want to ask, feel free to ask. The students who volunteered to speak will if you can do me one favor, if you can just send me like your bio, your information, and then I can send it to our president and she can make the decision. I don't want to say I'm solely going to make the decision on that, but we'll try our best to get, however that works. But there's other opportunities. If you don't do that, then maybe we'll have you introduce, if you don't moderate the panel, since you volunteered, we might have you introduce the keynote speaker, because one of the things I believe in about empowering students, sometimes it's the empowerment is just doing. So I'm telling you now, the 4 of you who have volunteered, you will in some capacity be doing something, whether that's introducing a keynote speaker or doing the moderated panel. So I want everybody, since you all were brave enough to step up, to give you some sort of leadership experience. True story, I used to stutter all the time as a kid. I stuttered, I still stutter. And the only way that I started speaking is somebody took me to a women's leadership conference and they're like, oh, you're going to introduce the keynote speaker. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And I ended up doing it. And it helped me enhance my public speaking skills that has allowed me to get some of the opportunities in life that I have now.
And you led a segue to one of the topics that I wanted to address under making the most of the conference is to get out of your comfort zone. Make new friends, meet the speakers if you can, but get out of your comfort zone, try something new. And this will certainly stretch your comfort zone if you're introducing it at a conference. So that's awesome. A good opportunity. All right. All right.
Well, have a good night, and it was nice
thank you.
meeting everybody.
Thank you, Asia.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what I'd like to do is check the time here. I want to talk a little bit more about getting the most out of your conference. And I will have some suggestions posted when you get the link, besides having the updated schedule, which of course you shared with us, but some other ideas. And you might be traveling with a fellow student or someone you meet, but try and meet other students from other states, find out what's going on at their school, get their ideas, get exposed to some new ideas, some diverse populations across the United States. When you're looking at the schedule, or the app, I should say, that Asia ends up sending you, and the topics seem overwhelmed, you can try a suggestion of picking 1 to 3 themes. For example, let's say you want to focus on leadership. Maybe there's something on financial planning. You might want to focus on financial planning, or how to secure a job after you graduate. Maybe there's conferences, topics on that, or something on the STEM field. So if you pick some topics that you really care about, then that might help guide you in your selection for which programs you'd like to attend. But that getting out of the comfort zone, try something new. So let's say you're not interested in politics and let's say foreign, helping the world become a more peaceful place. But you say, well, I'm going to go see what it's all about. Because sometimes you take that step you didn't plan and you go, aha, this is what I really want to learn more about, and I really want to get involved. But you never find that aha moment if you don't stretch yourself. So I encourage you to do that. Since some of the workshops will be presented only once, get a buddy. If you're traveling with somebody, that might be your buddy, and say, hey, I'm going to go to this workshop. Can you go to that workshop and write down key points or the resources or a quote, something important from that workshop that really impressed you? And I'd say write it down, because you're going to hear so much information, you might then forget it by the time you meet up with your buddy. But then share, this is what I learned from this workshop. This is a key point. This is a takeaway, a quote. It could even be an action you want to try. This is what I'm going to do when I go back to campus. I'm going to do this. And then share it with somebody, because in the process of sharing it with somebody, it's reinforcing it in your own brain. You've heard the thing about, if you teach someone, you've now learned it so much better. Your teachers might have had you say, okay, if you're in a study group and you're helping each other learn, you're also going to get that information reinforced even more, because you're talking about it and helping someone else learn it. If you've been a tutor, you realize how well you know this material because you help someone else learn. So write it down, get a takeaway, meet with your buddy and share that. That way you can get something out of a presentation that you were unable to attend. During the presentation, if you have questions, write it down. If you have time afterwards, you could address the speaker and say, I have a question, or introduce yourself, especially if it's a speaker who you align with maybe in a career, that's the direction your career might be taking. Talk to her, introduce yourself. Because one of the other things that I have 2 adult daughters, and one of them suggested that if there's a speaker that inspired you, look for them on LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn, introduce yourself to them and say, hey, I saw you, I heard your talk at the NCCWSL, and I'm really interested in your area or your career, and you're expanding your network. That might be a resource if you're looking for an internship, you're looking for a career advice, because the women who are there talking to you are there because they, just like AAUW, want to help you advance in your career, help you succeed. And so expanding your network is a good idea, and this gives you an opportunity to do that. You might pay attention to what session was the most meaningful for you and why. I'm hoping to send a survey to all the students after NCCWSL and ask you that question and ask you what was your favorite topic, what you got out of it. Is there anything you'd want to share with next year's students who might attend? And even if you have some suggestions on how you'd like to see it improve next year. So think about that while you're there. Now, after the conference, within 48 hours, 2 days, send 1 or 2 follow-up messages. If you thought, I'm going to email that speaker who shared her email address with us, because what happens frequently is you have all these good intentions, and then you get back to the real world and I got a paper due, I have finals, maybe hopefully your finals are over by then, but maybe summer sessions are starting or you're looking for a summer job. So write down on the plane on the way home what you want to do when you get home. Are you going to email somebody a question? Are you going to follow up with the speaker? Is there an action that you learned that you say, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to upgrade my resume, whatever the suggestion was, or multiple suggestions were that you learned from this conference. Follow up on them before they get pushed aside with the everyday reality. I also encourage you to take photos and have fun. So take photos of your peers and your fellow students and Washington, D.C., and send them to me. I want to see your photos. I want to see what's happening. I'm hoping next year we can put together, for next year, kind of a collage of pictures or a little video of people having fun and sharing. This is what a workshop looked like. Take a picture from the back of the room and say, there's all these people and this is our speaker. This is pretty awesome. I'm going to ask my colleague, Wendy, who from Oregon, who helped me brainstorm some of the topics from today. Do you have any, or Pam, who's our California, well, she's from my branch, Redlands branch, and she's our CU partnership chair. Does anybody have any other suggestions for helping the students make the most of this conference? Okay,
well, I think you've been pretty thorough, Susan, so nothing leaps to mind. We do have one of our attendees is planning to put together a video officially, because I understand Zoe Griffin, who's here, is a videographer, at least as an interest, if not a career. I don't know. Anyway, so we're working on her doing that. Right, Zoe?
She says, yes, I'm planning to in the chat. Yay, Zoe.
Okay, yeah. So obviously we will share that with California too, and anyone else who wants it. So, I'm still waiting to get permission on that, but I think we're just going to go ahead and do it, and they'll let, because that's what leadership women do.
We ask for forgiveness rather than permission, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Pam's a fellow educator, so she might have some insight or anything you'd like to share, Pam, forward. Still muted, Pam.
Yeah.
There you go. Got it.
I just typed in save your receipts because I'm sure every one of you has to save receipts, but take pictures, save receipts, send your pictures to us, because I love it in the middle of the conference when I get a text from someone with pictures at NCCWSL. It's fabulous. And of course, everybody in our branch, think of this for all of you. If a branch is supporting you, we want to know what you're doing. We love it.
Yeah.
I just want to interject. Oregon students, do not save your receipts. I don't care about your receipts.
Because they're being funded differently. They're getting
your stipend covers all that. So don't save receipts unless you want to. Okay.
All right. Any other words of advice, especially if any of the branch?
I might also add, she mentioned that they're trying to show Dr. Woodrum's film one of the evenings. Mm-hmm. If at all possible, do watch that film. I found it just so powerful, so inspirational to see someone she had to struggle a lot in her life, and that won't come up in her presentation. She really had to struggle to get to where she is. And it's a little, the film is hard to watch. There's some scenes in it that are very, very sad. But it's well worth your while if they do show it to watch it. And if they don't show it, you can find it. It's Space, Hope, and Charity. You can stream it online for like $7.
Space, Hope, and Charity.
I'm ready. I'm putting it in the comment.
Oh, good, because you convinced me. I want to see it now.
Yeah, you do want to see it. It's amazing.
Space, Hope, and Charity. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you, Wendy. Because if we don't have any more ideas on the conference, I'm going to move into the travel. And I taught at a community college, and we have sent students to these conferences that have never flown before. And so many of you may be seasoned travelers, but it kind of scared me when I'm sending a student who's never traveled before by herself and making sure that she's comfortable and not worried. One of our students a couple of years ago showed up at the airport like 45 minutes before the plane was due to take off. That is not a good idea. And so I'm going to start at the beginning, but even though this isn't the beginning, show up 2 hours before the plane is due to take off. That's the standard policy. But your tickets, airline tickets, were purchased by the branch members that are supporting you, or the branch that's supporting you. And hopefully you have your e-ticket and you can find out what class or airfare that you are. Let me see if I have it opened. I will share. I don't know if I have. I don't think I shared that. But but you want to know like what letter you are. Are you an A, a J? What kind of fare you have? And then go to the airline. So let's say you're in Oregon. I know is traveling Alaska, but you might be traveling Southwest, United, American, different airlines, and see what that fare covers, what luggage requirements it covers. Because I became aware of this making some reservations for myself and my brother for this summer. And you can get an airline ticket and then you pick, it's economy, but you can get an economy airline ticket that does not allow you to have a carry-on. So if you're planning to have a carry-on, you now have to check your baggage. And remember, checking your baggage, you'll have to pay a fee. It used to be like $45, but I heard 60 and 65 on some airlines. So the fee can be quite a bit. But if you have a ticket where you can't bring a carry-on, then you can't bring a carry-on. If you're allowed to bring a carry-on, make sure you look at the sizes of the carry-on. It's pretty generic. I wrote it down. I'm looking for it. Let me see on my notes. It's usually 22-inch length maximum, 9-inch by 14 by 22-inch. So if you're bringing a carry-on, then you're allowed a carry-on and a personal item. If you cannot bring a carry-on, you're only allowed a personal item. In your personal item, you need to keep everything that's important for you. Your wallet, if you have a passport, your keys, your phone charger, and you have to have all your lithium ion batteries. So if you're bringing anything that requires a battery, you can't put it in your check-in suitcase. It has to be, it could be in your carry-on if you're allowed to carry on, or it has to be in your personal item. So bring your phone charger. Hopefully you're not, if you have a laptop computer that you're bringing or an iPad and its charger, you have to bring the laptop computer or the iPad on the plane, not in your suitcase because of the battery, okay? And so your personal item, remember, has to fit in the seat in front of you. So if you're bringing a personal item and you're carrying all the stuff, including any medicine that you may need, you might end up bringing a small backpack, not a purse. So if you really want to look nice and have a purse at the conference, that might have to go in your checked suitcase. Now, if you have a carry-on, your carry-on can have your laptop, your computer charger, your phone charger and you don't have to carry it in your backpack. Problem comes with a gate check. So I'm going to share a screen on what I found out about gate check. Here. Okay. What is a gate check? If you're allowed to carry on in a personal item, you're carrying your personal item, you're dragging your weekly little carry-on. But it could be that all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but you don't get to take your carry-on on the plane. Now, there's something called a valet or plane side check. And that is when you have your carry-on and they say there's not enough room. And so you're on the jet bridge or the jetway, and they take it from you there. They have a tag on your luggage, and they put it in the plane, but you pick it up when you get off the plane on the bridge. Don't walk off the bridge without it, okay? So if you have to do a valet or a gate check, ask where you'll pick up your luggage. Do you pick it up on the gateway or the jet bridge, or do you pick it up with luggage? Okay, so if you're doing the jet bridge return, they take it from you before you board the plane, and you pick it up as soon as you get off the plane. That may happen when they don't have enough space for all of the carry-ons. The other gate check is when at the terminal, they'll say, we have no room for all the baggage. So if you'd like to check your carry-on, it's free. We won't even charge you. Of course, who knows, your airline may charge you. But if it's too big, they'll charge you. If it fits the size, they might not charge you. But what happens if you are doing that type of check, or even the jet other type of check, you can't have any batteries, lithium-ion batteries, in any gate checked or valet plane side check. And so you have to now open up your carry-on and remove the batteries. If you have your laptop in there, it gets very stressful because it's chaotic. It's like, oh my gosh, I thought I could just bring this on the plane. Now I have to take out my batteries. And so just think about it ahead of time. If you don't get to bring your carry-on on the plane, you pull out your laptop or your iPad, you pull out all your lithium-ion batteries. Make sure your keys and your wallet, and if you're carrying some jewelry, don't bring expensive jewelry. If you're carrying just, fun jewelry, have that in your personal item, okay? Now, the reasons why this may happen, I mentioned one, that there's so many people with carry-ons, there's not going to be enough overhead bin space. It could be you're on a small aircraft. Let's say you're going from, in my case, Ontario Airport to, let's say, Phoenix, Arizona. Maybe it's a small airplane. There's not enough, the size or the depth of the bins don't allow your carry-on. And so there could be other reasons. If you are, let's say, when you check in, now you can check in 24 hours in advance, but you don't have to. You could check in at the airport and get your boarding pass. But if you're zone like 5, 6, 7, 8 boarding, there might not be room for your carry-on. Okay. Now there may be room for the carry-on. So this is just be prepared. Make sure you have a plan to have all the batteries out of your carry-on and put it into your personal item. I'm going to ask any of my seasoned travelers up there if you have any comments on this, because I'm not the sole authority. There's lots of you who traveled. Any comments or feedback? I don't see anybody raising their hand. Okay, well, hopefully, that you don't have that issue. But you can check with your airlines, and once again, on your fare, and make sure you know whether you can bring a carry-on or not. In that carry-on, we already talked about small ounces, and I say put them in a Ziploc bag. Makes it easier to pull out if they do want to check them, and it certainly keeps them from leaking.
Susan, be sure to tell them the quart size, the little bag, not the big gallon size.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, quart size bag. Sorry. Yeah, a quart, good point, quart size bag. Let's see. I think I'm looking at my stuff. I went through all that.
It's you'll typically see it as the 311. And the 1 stands for the 1 quart bag size. You can only have one of them. You cannot have more than 1 quart size bag of liquids. And what's in that quart size bag, no single liquid can be more than 3 ounces. And if you have a 5 ounce bottle and you've poured liquid out, that's not acceptable. It has to be a 3 ounce or smaller bottle. They're really sticky about this. If you're carrying a water bottle, empty it before you go through TSA and then fill it on the other side. There's almost every single airport I've been in, and I fly a lot. They have where the drinking fountains are. They also have the refill for the bottles, the filtered water refill. So once you're through TSA, you can fill it up and carry your water bottle forward. And yeah, and when you get to TSA, you're going to have to show your ID again. So be prepared to have your ID out, your real ID. You'll stand up in front of a little camera thing, and they match your photo ID with a picture. They take your picture at that time.
Yeah, all good points. When you, I assume all of you will be changing planes since there's hardly, no, okay. Oh, you guys are flying straight through? Lucky you. And I suppose if you're coming from a large airport, you can fly straight through. I'm used to coming through a smaller airport. So our students have to change planes. When you are given your boarding pass, you may or may not be told the gate of your next flight. But when you land, let's say you're landing in Phoenix, you're landing in Chicago, you're landing in Texas, look up your flight number and see the gate and pay attention. Sometimes gate numbers change. Sometimes it's a long walk to get the gate. Some airports have trains. You have to get on the train to get to the next terminal to get on the gate. So kind of ask questions. It's not scary. It's kind of think of it as an adventure, on a travel adventure. You're explorers. Enjoy the experience. You're going to land in the airport and navigate the airport and get to your next gate. Should you have a delay taking off from your first flight and you land at your next airport, hopefully you're not going to miss your second flight. In the horrible situation where you are going to miss your second flight, you work with the airlines to get you on the next flight. Okay, your contact, your branch can't do much. But let's say you're flying American Airlines, you work with American Airlines to get you on the next available flight. Okay, so that's how that would work. Let's see. Airplanes don't really serve food. You're not going to, if you're leaving at 7 in the morning, they're not going to give you breakfast. So if you get to the airport, you might want to grab something to eat. I always carry snack bars like granola bars or M&M peanuts, something on the plane because you might get hungry. If you have enough time in your changing planes, you might end up getting lunch. But if you're rushing to the next flight, you might be lucky and get pretzels or something like that on the plane. And I heard how some flights are even going to be doing away with that kind of service. Airplanes are trying to cut their costs because the price of fuel has gone up. So we have some of these things, we just have to learn as we go. Grab something to eat so you don't go hungry. Keep your water bottle filled and you have something to drink.
Also, Susan,
yes,
on
yes.
the flights now, and I find this personally irritating, but you, if you like, they'll sell a snack box, or what coffee, tea, and milk kind of thing is free. But if you want something and they are providing it, they expect you to pay for it, and it's by credit card,
yeah,
and it needs to be in their app. So you need to download the airline app onto your phone and put the credit card in the app so that they can take the payment.
And I would say buy some granola bars and take them with you.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's what I do, because I just find that like, what?
Yeah, and you're not on extremely long flights. I mean, it might seem long to you because if you have had experience flying, but for the Oregon people, you're probably on a longer flight because you're nonstop. But for most people, it would be a chance at the airport to use the airport restroom and to grab a snack, assuming you have a long enough layover. Okay, if you don't, have those granola bars in your personal item. Okay. When you arrive at the airport, you go to the baggage claim to pick up any checked baggage. Okay, and your baggage will have a tag. Be sure and spot your suitcase. A lot of suitcases look alike to me, so I try and do something different. I have a strap on mine, or maybe you'll have a tag that's green or pink or something so you can help spot it, to make sure you have the right luggage. After you get your luggage, meet up with if you're traveling with somebody, or you know from that, I forgot what she called it, the wall, the discussion wall, like Asia called it, say, okay, you're flying in on American, someone else is flying in on Delta, where are we going to meet? Get their contact, say, okay, we're going to meet at by gate 3, terminal 6, whatever, wherever the meeting place is. And then from there, you would get your transportation to your hotel. And if you are flying directly there and you don't have a hotel, you're flying on the 27th, then you go directly to the conference, University of Maryland, and have them drop you off as close as possible to the student union. Okay, so that would be the way to get to your destination. And she said it's about 45 minutes, but you'll be landing, by the time you get your luggage and get out there, you're going to be in rush hour traffic. So count on it being a longer ride than 45 minutes, my estimation. Anything else my seasoned travelers would like to add for travel hints?
Something you said at the beginning, repeat, airplanes are cold. Bring a sweatshirt, a jacket, a hoodie, anything. And they change. Sometimes you'll be sitting there freezing to death, and then the next minute it's hotter than hell. So be ready for anything.
Yes. Right.
Good advice, Sigrid.
Okay. And Donna, you had more to say too.
I was surprised to see this. My granddaughter lives in Santa Barbara, which is, talk about a small airport, but they have a spot you have to go to if you're doing Uber or Lyft.
That's true. Good point.
And now a bunch of airports are doing that. So if you're calling an Uber, Lyft, a ride share, or whatever you're doing, you need to find out where that is and go to that spot. And then that's where they'll meet you.
Yes. That's, I'm glad you thought of that. Yes. So there'll be people by the baggage claim that can help you answer those questions as you grab your bag and you're trying to figure out, where should I exit? Where do I go? And there's usually signs too, but sometimes it could be quite a ways from you, so you might not notice the sign. But that's a good point. In our little airport, Ontario, there's a place where you pick up Uber. And if you fly into LAX, you have to take a bus to get over to the Uber and taxi area. It's kind of annoying. Thelma.
Just a little idea. I've traveled to China many, many, many times. And the best thing is to always just carry a carry-on. Don't worry. Whatever you do, don't do more than what you can carry with you. And a good area where you save a lot of space is choosing your shoes correctly. Wear the same shoes on the plane and whatever meetings you're going to go to. That alone saves you a ton of room. Bring a good jacket that you can wear on the plane and also to meetings or events that you're going to. And bring really cozy, comfortable pajamas. That's it.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, and you don't bother with curling irons and hair dryers and things like that. I don't know if the dorm has hair dryer though, but I didn't ask that. Hotels do, but yeah. Any other? Now, does any student have any questions? And notice that some of your branch supporters are here, and so I think that's important to know. The students to note that the people who are sponsoring you, many of them are here and interested in seeing you and helping you succeed in your endeavors and have smooth journeys, safe travels, and get the most out of this opportunity that you're presented. So thank you to all the branch members who are here. And Thelma, the one who just spoke, is one of the speakers. You saw her a little bit earlier. So thank you, Thelma, for volunteering to go there and talk. And just a little bit about Thelma. Thelma has designed theme parks around the world. So if you've gone somewhere and had a lot of fun, Thelma might have been the one who designed it. Wendy, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I would like to take this moment to introduce Joyce Zook of AAUW Salem, Laura Lynn, and Ava. Salem is your sponsor.
Awesome.
Joyce, say hello.
Hey, well, let me see. Libby, what branch are you from? You're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, and Palos Verdes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm trying to go through here and see. Pam Ford was here. I don't know if you're still here. Pam is from the Redlands branch. And so we've lost. And then since I can't see some faces, I can't tell if you're 20 or older. So if there's any other branch person still here, let me know. And if not, let me open it up to questions. Students, do you have questions? Well, I have to tell you, you are about to embark on a wonderful adventure. And it is thanks to California and Oregon to encourage NASPA to add that DC tour. So we said, why go all the way out that side of the country and not see Washington, DC? You're so close. So take advantage of it. Go and enjoy DC. And then you will just see a tidbit. And so that should be on your bucket list. One of the places you want to return to when you can is Washington, D.C. It's an amazing, the monuments and the museums are awesome. Hey, no last minute questions. Be sure and copy the information from the chat if you haven't already. Okay. And I thank you, Sigrid. You weren't even going to stick around for the whole thing, and you stuck around for the whole thing. And thank you, Donna, who's also on the branch development committee and does a lot more for the state of California AUW than I can even remember. We'll wrap it up then.
All right.
Have fun, get out of your comfort zone and learn something. Come back.
Have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time. Come back and make a difference.
Thank you, Susan. That was great.
Yep.
Thank you, Susan.
Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you